Yeah, this is Paul. Yeah, I'm just sitting here. Didn't get any emails, and I'm a little upset about the situation. I got to thinking about gambling. All those bets that I wouldn't get my constitutional rights. Yeah. It's one of those things where I had heard that there were dog tracks and race tracks. Is there horse racing locations, places where people place bets on whether or not some horse or dog is going to win a race? Gambling is such that when you have certain technologies that can be used to violate the privacy of American citizens, and you allow for constitutional rights to be violated so as to entertain the gamblers that are betting that I won't get my sons, I won't get my rights, I won't get my assets. It makes me think of every place in the world where you could place a bet. Now, if I went through every racetrack, I went down 20 miles, and then I looked at the actual identities of those that do or don't have to report their winnings. Poo, 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 poo. Looked at the actual ownership of every horse at every racetrack. If I was to look at the dog ownership of every dog at every racetrack where you could place a bet, looked at those that win more than what is the actual tax liability on winnings from any sort of betting establishment. I'm sitting here having sent some emails to those that are in law enforcement about what the law requires. It's almost like sheriffs and police officers and judges and justices. They want people to be involved in the illegal gambling of betting on whether or not I'm going to get the law enforced. I like to know all of those that have been betting any place where you can place a wager, casinos, different locations where you can bet on whether or not you'll win something. Could you give me the last 40 years of horse ownership? Last 40 years of dog ownership, 20 miles down below every place you can place a bet, because it seems that those in law enforcement think that it's funny to not enforce the laws of the United States. I'm just going to need to know the total amount that's been paid out of every establishment that has a business license that has said they could legally facilitate the betting of those involved in gambling. And if you had time, I wouldn't mind knowing who the employees are for the last 40 years of every casino, every racetrack, every dog track, and any and all other locations where it's legal to place a bet about winning something. Now I know you're a justice on the Supreme Court of Washington State, and you decided you're not going to enforce the laws of the state or the United States, when I had documented that the Violence Against Women's Act makes it illegal to not protect the due process rights of the respondent. Now, I know if I find any bets, somebody decided they were going to wager the farm on this one. They were going to put the house up for sale. And they thought, well, I'm just going to bet that Clown County's not going to enforce the laws of the United States. I'm going to place a wager. I'm going to really get the odds. I'm going to make absolutely sure that as that gambler that always wins, that Clown County not enforcing the laws of the United States is going to cause a whole lot of gamblers to find themselves imprisoned. Now, I sent an email to the police department. I sent an email to the sheriff's department. In fact, I had sent an email to various fire departments throughout the United States. We did get every person that has been employed in every fire department. Did we get every person that's been employed?